Hello. So for this math lesson, you don't need anything. I just want you to listen. We started talking about units of measurement last week. So feet, inches, and yards are the three that we really talked about. You did an activity where you had to complete looking at how big something was and approximately its size. You also completed other problems last week. These are the examples we went through. So one of the problems we talked about was that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So we talked about a foot would be, I'm going to use this again. This is a tape measure, but think about a ruler, like we've used rulers in class. This would be the size of a ruler. It's 12 inches long. So 12 inches we talked about equals 1 foot. We also talked about that an inch are just all these little units of measurement right here, where you see the big numbers, those are inches. The other thing we talked about, which we're going to be talking about today, is that, let's get back to our foot. So this is a foot. But if you have 3 feet, so if you have 3 of these, that's going to be a yard, or 36 inches, because 12 plus 12 plus 12 is 36. So 3 feet, so 3 of these equals 1 yard. But let's get back to some of the problems that we did last week just to kind of review. So we talked about that 1 foot equals 12 inches. Remember to figure that out, all we had to do was multiply. I had attached a multiplication chart to the email so you were able to see it if you needed help with it. But if you take a look at this, you know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So if you have 2 feet, that would be 24 inches. How you get that is you're just multiplying 2 by 12. If I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches, if I have 2 of those, now you're kind of like adding 2, 12 plus 12 is 24. So then 2 feet would equal 24 feet. And we solved it. This is the paper that I used last time we talked about this. And I solved my problem down here. Now let's say that you have 5 feet. How many inches would that be? Well, if 1 foot equals 12 inches, I'm just taking 12 times 5, which I have here. This is what you did last time. I just wanted to re-explain it and kind of go over it. You guys did a pretty good job on it, but that's when we were talking about 1 foot equals 12 inches. Today we're going to be looking at yards and feet. So I'm going to use this whiteboard to show you. So we already said that 1 yard equals 3 feet. And with my tape measure, I showed you that before. This is a foot. And then if I add another 12, that's a foot. And I'm going to kind of go off the screen here. And if I add another one, that's going to be 3 feet, which is 1 yard. Now you're going to kind of be doing the same thing on this email as you did with the other one when we were talking about feet and inches. But this time we're talking about yards and feet. So if you have 1 yard, I just showed you and we talked about that equals 3 feet. Now we're going to kind of do what we did before. Now, what if you have 2 yards? I'm just writing this down for you. What if you have 2 yards? How many feet is that going to be? So you could probably solve this in your head. If you can, I'm going to explain it to you. 1 yard equals 3 feet. Well, now I have one of those yards, so I have at least 3 feet. And then I have another yard. So what do I have to do in order to figure out then if I have 2 yards, how many feet is that? I want you to think about it. You can add, but we can also multiply. All I'm going to do is multiply this first number I have here. I'm going to multiply every problem by 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. So whatever number I give you here, however many yards I tell you, or I ask you when you complete the problems, you're just multiplying that by 3 because in each one of those yards, it's 3 feet. Now, what if I say, we've done 1, we've done 2, let's do 3. 3 yards equals how many feet? So I'm going to do the same thing. Now, a lot of this you can do in your head. You should know these multiplication facts. If you don't, you can always use a chart. But again, now I have 3 yards. how many feet is that going to be? I'm going to multiply this first number here always by 3. So 3 times 3 equals 9. Let's do one more example, and then I'm going to have you complete some on this email. Let's do one that's a little bit bigger. Let's do 8 yards equals how many feet? So look at the pattern we're doing here. We're taking the amount of yards that I'm asking, and we're multiplying it by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. Now I'm asking, if you have 8 yards, how many feet is that going to be? So I have 8 yards. If I just have 1 yard, it equals 3 feet. So I'm multiplying 8 times 3, which is, I'm going to give you a minute to figure it out. $24 feet. So for the assignment for today, I'm going to have it right after this link. So in this email, I'm going to give you problems just like this, and I'll list this. 1 yard equals 3 feet. And then I'm going to give you other problems. So I'm not going to have these. There'll be other numbers. So it might say 4 yards equals how many feet? Or 9 yards equals how many feet? Remember, just to review, you're taking the number that I'm asking you, and you're multiplying it by 3 because there's 1 yard and 3 feet. So that's what you're going to do. So 1 yard equals 3 feet. So make sure that you look at that and multiply those numbers to figure out how many feet would be in a yard. So that's what you're doing for your assignment. And then you can send it to me. Thank you.